Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone and Roel. Peace and blessings, salutations to the whole collective Israel. All right, I'm going to go with the spirit this lesson, but I mean, we just really, these are the final warnings going out, man, because pretty soon there's going to be a point real soon where we're not going to be putting YouTube videos up anymore, man. Or we're not going to be going on the highways and byways no more. Okay? So you need to get this truth while it's available, man, while the doors of mercy are still open. Because those doors of mercy are closing at a very fast pace. Okay? So, I mean, if you miss the train, so to speak, it's not coming back. Okay? You'll just get it on the next side then, all right? But, you know, you got if you miss the train, it's done. It's not going to stop for you. It's not going to reverse for you. We're only moving forward, man. All right, so I'm going to play this video called These Events Are of Biblical Proportions, all right? And I'm going to play the whole video and get a couple precepts at the end. But this is a very, very heavy video, all right? Let me make sure the volume's turned up. All right.
Get ready for some serious space action, something epic and dramatic.
I'm excited.
Sold?
It's all going down this week across the night sky.
With Mars closer than what it has been in 15 years, almost double the brilliance of Jupiter through the naked eye, and the longest total lunar eclipse of the century, space enthusiasts can tune into the skies for a double celestial delight this month.
Much of it has been swallowed up by fire in one day. The extent of the damage was impossible to gauge as night fell.
A wildfire tore through a beach resort community popular with tourists and retirees.
This is the E94 motorway leading into Athens, with drivers risking their lives to get past the encroaching fires. 100-kilometer-an-hour winds fan the flames and disperse the...
This is the deadliest fire season to hit Greece in more than a decade. 60 people are reported dead in wildfires raging outside of the capital.
The fires spread. By Monday night, there were 3 wildfires, the worst now east of Athens, in the seaside towns of Mate and Rafina.
It's a difficult moment for the region. It's a difficult night for Greece.
A dry winter and now a sweltering heatwave has turned the country into a tinderbox.
Rescue crews reported finding more than 20 people huddled together on a beach, and the Red Cross told local media that some had apparently been family members who were found hugging each other.
Closure of roads and a main highway. In the village of Mati, charred cars cover the streets. Greece is now asking the European Union for help.
Korea is not alone in trying to cope with the unbearable heat. In some parts of our world, the sizzling conditions are proving to be the deadliest they've ever experienced.
This is the first time we're hearing about a case of people at sea hurt because of the volcano's incredible power.
This is the moment a fireball exploded out of the sea, showering a nearby tour boat with flaming rocks. The blast is nerve-rattling as the screams of terror from the passengers on board. In just the past few days, a new island of lava just off the coast has begun to form, drawing tourists who want to get close to the action.
I definitely would not tell other people not to go do it because of this, because this is probably a once-in-a-lifetime happening.
A once-in-a-lifetime experience, in more ways than one.
Since May 3rd, the Kilauea volcano has erupted continuously, ravaging the landscape of Hawaii's Big Island.
The ongoing flow from these fissures creating these huge fields of now hardened lava.
This morning, lava is still pouring out of massive fissures or cracks in the ground.
In Japan, a massive search and rescue operation is underway for victims of the worst flooding there in 35 years.
Flooding has ripped Japan in two, with central and southern regions largely submerged.
Over the weekend, torrential rain, at times as much as 3 inches per hour, inundated roads and entire towns, swallowing homes and cars.
More than 3 times the normal amount of rainfall for the entire month of July has fallen on parts of western and southwestern Japan since Thursday. The death toll has steadily climbed, but this year there were special circumstances. Typhoon Praparoon entered the Sea of Japan on Tuesday, high winds taunting Japan's southern islands before it moved north, dropping unprecedented rainfall.
Firefighters in Sweden say their battle for control is far from over. Remarkably, nobody's been injured by the dozens of wildfires.
Wildfires rage as far north as the Arctic Circle. More than 40 fires burned across Sweden on Wednesday, prompting Swedish authorities to seek international assistance.
Unusually high temperatures across the whole Nordic region, up to 33 Celsius, coupled with virtually no rain for several weeks, have made the vegetation here highly flammable. Finland and Norway have also had wildfires in the last week.
Norway, which dealt with wildfires of its own in 100 locations last week, has also dispatched 6 helicopters to Sweden for assistance.
Swedish authorities say that as of Thursday, an area equivalent to 20,000 football pitches had burned. That's 10 times the size you'd expect in a normal year. And some fires are still spreading.
Northern Israel was shaken awake Thursday morning by a series of small earthquakes. Measuring at magnitude 4.1, these security camera videos show the streets heaving and shuddering. No one was injured, but residents say they were shaken.
I felt the quake at 1:45 in the morning. I was sitting in my parlor when suddenly my chair started shaking, and I heard the ground rumble with a loud boom.
And now the Holy Land hasn't had a major earthquake since 1927, but after over a dozen minor quakes in just the last few days,
Israel is located on a massive fault line called the Dead Sea Transform, where the continental plates of Africa and Arabia meet.
To Iran now, where a magnitude 5.9 earthquake has struck the western province of Kermanshah near the border with Iraq. It came just hours after 2 smaller quakes struck Hormozgan province. Two earlier earthquakes in the south with magnitudes of 4.7 and 5.7 damaged buildings in a few villages without causing casualties. Iran is crisscrossed by major geological fault lines.
Now, last month was the driest June on record for large parts of England, while Scotland recorded its highest ever temperature. The Met Office revealed that today.
Britons are sweltering under an intense heat wave. Today is the 13th consecutive day where temperatures have reached 28 degrees or above.
The weather extremes do extend far beyond the United States. The temperature in Japan, just west of Tokyo, hit 106 today. That is the highest temperature ever recorded in Japan.
And so it's not so much that Japan is unused to heat waves, it's that the intensity is stronger than it has been in the past.
Mid-July is usually the monsoon season here in the nation, but that's not the case this year. Instead, we're experiencing a scorcher of a weather, a condition set to last at least a week and could go on for the rest of July.
A heat wave in Sweden inside the Arctic Circle is feeding dozens of wildfires, one of the worst outbreaks the country's ever seen. The strong winds are fanning wildfires in Greece, including 2 major fires near Athens.
While heavy rain and severe weather impact the eastern 2/3 of the country, parts of the west are gripped by record-breaking heat. It is hot with a capital H.
In downtown Los Angeles, the City of Angels feeling more like hell. A record 106.
It feels dangerous. It feels like I'm burning and I'm wearing a sunscreen already.
In 4 hours, temperatures rose 30 degrees in Universal City.
We have fires here. It's not unusual, but not of this magnitude.
Tonight, epic fire and record heat. Dangerous and deadly combination.
The heat is making the battle against California wildfires all the more difficult.
Tonight from California, where homes are being threatened, to Oregon, where structures are being lost, crews are losing ground in this deadly and destructive wildfire season.
Heavy downpours triggered massive flooding in central Pennsylvania yesterday. Floodwaters swamped roads and homes and swept away cars.
With smoke visible from 30,000 feet, it's heating up on the front lines. Tonight, as the weather gets dangerously hot, the West is getting burned.
About 80 miles northwest of Philadelphia, raging floodwaters swallowed the town of Tremont, Pennsylvania. Officials there declared a disaster emergency because of the flash flooding.
Someone could come help save me?
In nearby Pine Grove, a stranded driver took cell phone video of the flooding as he sat on top of his car,
devouring everything in its path.
We don't have fires now, we have mega fires.
The inferno is exploding so quickly, the extent of the damage is unknown.
We saw rates of spread that normally we would only see in the early and late fall.
Tonight across the West, crews bracing for a firefight.
Hershey, Pennsylvania, the famous Hershey Park and neighboring Zoo America closed because of flooding. Drone shots show the extent of the rising water.
When we live in the city, it's very easy to forget what's happening outside our own little world. You headed out to Walgett and spent a bit of time there. Just how devastating was it to see the drought firsthand?
These are some of the state's most productive areas, and we were walking on 25 square kilometre farms with not a green blade of grass. The entire farm, they've had one crop in the last 6 years. Sheep are dying. Farmers are getting ready to lock the gate and get jobs off farm.
Brian, drought in Australia, it's not restricted to any one place or any one state. Did a lot of drought-related stories when I was growing up in Queensland. I was a young cadet reporter in Rockhampton in particular, and you know, farmers would get depression and a lot, you know, there'd be a lot of suicide. because they can't go on? Is that still as bad as it gets?
Absolutely. Country psychologists and psychiatrists are adamant that the drought has seen an increase in suicide and suicidal thoughts. And Brian's colleagues who run a psychology service are getting 2 or 3 calls a day or text messages from farmers on the brink of suicide because they can't cope anymore and they can't support their families.
And they're taking something like 50 calls a week from farmers who're suffering from anxiety, depression, threatening to suicide. I mean, and 80% of these callers are men. That's unheard of. That's how bad it is. It's critical, right?
On the intervening night of 27th and 28th July, the moon will be totally eclipsed for 1 hour 43 minutes. The event can be observed in a large part of the globe, including in India, where it can be seen after 11:54 p.m. Indian Standard Time on 27th July.
Alright, so what I'm going to do real quick. Coincidence. A remarkable concurrence of events or circumstances without apparent causal connection. Synonyms: accident, chance, serendipity, The point is, it's something, like an accident, something that just happens and there's no real reason. If you believe that these are coincidences and you believe in coincidences in general, then you're a damn fool. Okay? If you believe in God, then there is no such thing as coincidence, and all these things are not happening because of chance or because, it's just coincidence. No, it's judgment coming upon the earth, upon every side, and it's only going to get worse. And with this blood moon, which I've made videos on, it's a major, major sign, man. All right, and there's some final warnings going out, man, because pretty soon we're not going to be telling you this no more. All right? They're about to make their move, man. Okay? So let me get this. I saw a brother post this scripture. This is Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. All right, so these devils are not going to hold back, man. They know their kingdom is falling, and they're going to collapse on us as soon as possible. All right, and when we least expect it. Let's get Revelation chapter 12. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right, they know that their kingdom is collapsing. Why is their kingdom collapsing? Because the true biblical Israelites are waking up, specifically the elect. Lord willing, we are of the elect, and it's the end of Esau, man. It's time for Jacob to rule. The 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, and that person saying I is Ezra, all right, Ezra, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right. So we are in the end of Esau's world and in the beginning of Jacob's. All right. And a lot of these calamities are going to start hitting America, and you're going to see that real soon, man. The 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 35. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains can pass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack that come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. Okay, and you can see that happening right now. Let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Which I could have just turned the page, but that's all right. All right, nonetheless, because I was trying to think what else to get. All right. I'll start at 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. All right, so we have to have that mountain-moving faith in Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. All right, America is spiritually known as Egypt now. And also Sodom and Gomorrah, Rome, the mystery Babylon, all right, and a bunch of other kingdoms reincarnated, okay, because reincarnation's in the Bible, all right, and it's not, necessarily literally that, but it's in the spirit it is. It's the most wicked kingdom to ever be on the face of the earth. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. Okay? So, all the plagues that hit Egypt are coming back, and more so. All right? And much, much more. But let's look at the 10 plagues that hit Egypt just so we can get an idea of some of the things, and just some, because, whoops, Zalakia. I don't even know how I got to that. Okay, let's read the 10 plagues. Waters turn to blood, amphibians, gnats, flies, disease on livestock, unhealable boils, hail and fire, locust, darkness, death of firstborn, which, it's not literally going to bring necessarily those exact plagues, but the point is it's going to plague as it like Egypt, because this time it's not going to be the firstborn that dies. It's going to be 2/3 of Israel, and it's going to be a lot of you heathens. It's going to be America as a whole. America as a whole is going to get destroyed by nuclear missiles. Okay? But that's heavy darkness, because yesterday or a couple days ago, somewhere in the Middle East, I think it was in Saudi Arabia or Siberia, it became dark out of nowhere. All right? It just became dark for no apparent reason, and they don't know why. But, these are some of these things, and most of these things, and in some shape or form, and much, much more will come to America. All right? And you'll see that. This is Matthew chapter 24. Verse 21, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So it's going to be the worst time to come upon the face of the earth, which we can actually go back to 2 Ezra chapter 16 again for that. The beginning of sorrows, verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? All right. Malachi chapter 4 verse 1, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. All right, so it's about to get crazy out here, man. So you need to really get in that mindset, man. You need to really take heed to what we're saying, because pretty soon this message isn't going to go out anymore. Okay? So I'm going to end it off with this. I think it's in Matthew chapter 24. Verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. All right, and there's, brothers in all sorts of different countries all around the world that are teaching the scriptures, okay, that are teaching this truth, the real truth of the Bible. Okay, so it's already been a witness to all nations. So really prepare yourself, man. I'm not, putting dates on anything, but hell is about to break loose very, very soon, all right? And you can clearly see it if your eyes are open even a little bit, all right? So with that said, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, or Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone and Rowell. Peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect of Israel. All right, Shalom.